You're watching NBC4, working for you. Live from the area's leading news station, this is News 4 at 4.
I feel I can. I haven't had any trouble with it. I think honesty is the best policy.
And how to be a more effective worker by simply being honest. Easier said than done. We'll hear what some Washingtonians and our expert have to say about that touchy topic. When it comes to a lack of honesty in the workplace, you might think about Enron, WorldCom, maybe even Martha Stewart. But honesty problems can have a significant impact on any business. Are you honest at work? News 4's Tracy Wilkins set out this morning to find out.
Completely.
Why is that?
Because now I work for people I can be honest with. And when you're honest, all works well.
No. How so? Why?
Well, in the workplace, if you want to get along with people, sometimes you have to be careful about what you say, and you have to pick the battles if there are needs for battles sometimes. So I wouldn't call that completely honest. I would call that being judicious.
You have to be diplomatic. That's the key. I mean, you're not going to be always directly 100% because, I mean, people have feelings, so no matter how strongly you feel about something, they might get upset about how you view it. So you, depending how well you know the person and whatnot, you can be 100% honest sometimes. You gotta just fudge the truth a little bit, just, so you can work with them and not feel uncomfortable.
Fudging the truth. Well, Stephen Gaffney is author of a number of self-help books, including Honesty Works. He also conducts regular seminars on the topic. His operation's based in Northern Virginia. And Stephen joins us live in the studio. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
This is a great subject. Yeah. All right, you say the lack of honesty or withholding information can cost businesses billions of dollars. That from poor decisions, internal conflict, lost productivity, employee retention, all of that.
Absolutely. What most people do is they think about honesty as like truth or lies. But there's a whole other area, which is the withholding. For example, have you ever been in a situation and thought, should I bring it up or should I not? Should I bring it up or should I not? Forget it. And how often have you might have complained, if they had just given me that information or if they had just told me what was bothering them, I could have done something about it. The truth is that nobody can solve a problem unless they know about it, which is why it's so important to be upfront.
Okay. You say another reason people should be honest is because most of us just aren't good actors. We're lousy actors.
Reminds me, I had this lady in a course of mine, and she said, I was told to come here to learn how to change my tone. And I said, well, what's going on? She said, people say that I sound like I'm mad. And I said, well, are you mad? She goes, oh, yeah, I'm furious. Of course, she sounded mad because she was mad. We are lousy actors and actresses, and we're not fooling anyone. So what's the key thing to do is when we feel an attitude coming on or we feel like we're getting angry, we've got to disengage from the situation. If we're on the phone, we've got to hang up or ask the person if they can call them back, if we can call them back at another time. And if we're in a meeting, you know what I say to people? Just say, oh, excuse me, I got to go use the restroom. Just splash water on your face, do something. But the bottom line is, if you're in a meeting or you're in a conversation and you feel like you're getting mad, the other person can tell, and they can tell the attitude.
But how do you say honest things? Some honest things are difficult. How do you do that?
Yes, that's a great question. The key thing is to stick with the facts and stay away from opinions. And Susan, often people say, stay away from opinions. Have you ever been in a meeting and somebody shared all their opinions and you're thinking, who cares? Who cares? Here's the thing. We don't need to share a lot of our opinions because most people don't care. What we need to do is stick with the facts and then focus on a solution. So let's say you're in a meeting and you think, this person's lazy and they're unmotivated or they don't care. You don't have to share all that because they really don't care. But what you can say is, look, I noticed that the goals aren't getting achieved. What can we do to achieve these goals? And spend the energy on focusing and finding a solution. That's the key.
And finally, you have some tips on what people can do to encourage others not to withhold information. Those tips are: be clear on whether you have time to listen, react positively to feedback, and go fishing for honest answers.
Well, first off, about listening. Be upfront whether you have time. Have you ever walked up to somebody and said, oh, yeah, I got time for you, Susan, and then they're clicking away on the computer, and you're thinking, you know what, you don't have time. And if somebody keeps doing that, after a while, employees stop coming up to that person. In fact, I had a participant who actually took a session of mine, and he actually had been demoted, and he reported that the source of his demotion was he was always too busy to field questions from his employees, and he learned the hard way because he was demoted because of that. The other point about is reacting positively to feedback. How often has somebody said to you, Susan, you can give me feedback. I want to hear your feedback. And then you give them feedback and they fly off the handle. Right. Next time they ask you for feedback, you're like, forget it. And that's what happens. honest. Most people say forget it, because we actually train and condition people by our reaction to either be honest or not be honest. And often it's the real message is don't be honest.
All right, well, I have to be honest, we're out of time, but this is fascinating stuff. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
If you'd like more information on this topic, you can visit our website, NBC4.com, and click on the 4 p.m. page.